Hello, everyone. My name is Waleed, and I am the owner of a pest control company here in New York City called A List Exterminator. And I want to welcome you to my channel. And I hope that you will like this video. I hope that you will watch until the end. Today, I want to do a reaction to um, a video about rats here in New York City. Here in New York City, uh, rats is a very common problem, and it's a problem that many of our customers call us to handle for them all the time. So I want to take a look at this video and do a reaction to this video. So let's get into this video.
Each day, New York's crowded streets are abundant with the sights, smells, and sounds that make the city so easily recognizable. But at night, something else scurries around the city streets. New York is known for its rats. Next to the pigeon, they are probably the closest thing the city has to a mascot.
They are fascinating. They are complex in their behavior.
This guy says that rats are fascinating. I'm sure a lot of people out there are saying to themselves, fascinating? Rats? Really? I think almost anything else that you might come up with to describe a rat, I'm sure one of the things that you would come up with would not be fascinating. I don't think rats are fascinating at all. Funny.
Other people obviously would think that they are disgusting, they're vermin.
People who move here from out of state are just not ready for the amount of rats that we have out and about.
New York City has long been considered one of the rattiest cities in America. Some estimate around 2 million rats call it home. While most New Yorkers have accepted rats as part of city life, they pose various health risks.
One thing that she said that is a little strange to me is she says that when people move here from out of state, they are just not ready for encountering rats. And I'm wondering where these people are moving from. What part of the U.S. are they coming from? Because pretty much rats are in almost every part of the United States. So I don't know any part of the United States that is considered to be rat free. I will say that some areas are more heavily infested with rats than others, but everywhere in the United States has rats.
And while government agencies work to manage the problem, some New Yorkers have taken it into their own hands.
I see rats that you don't, and they're going bananas here tonight.
Here is how New York City rats out its rodents.
Rats have been here since the city was founded. Rats have lived in the city. Rats have survived in the city by the law of large numbers.
Richard Reynolds and his team of rat-hunting canines have prowled the streets of New York City for nearly 30 years.
The dogs are trained to dispatch rats. They have jobs that they do. There are catch dogs that stand out away from the action and wait for rats to run. Then you have the push dogs that go into trash bags and other places and make the rats bolt to the catch dogs.
This dog right here, Rommel, he's a Yog Terrier, and basically what this dog does in the group is he sniffs them out, and he kind of like sets them up so the other dogs can knock them down, so to speak.
Well, you're going to see what looks like mayhem. It's actually very controlled mayhem and very well-planned mayhem.
Camera with me. Give me a camera. I need a camera over here. Over here. Right there. You guys ready? Here we go. Here we go. Party.
In New York City, the rat that we see is the Rattus norvegicus, commonly referred to.
One thing that I will say about those people who are running around New York City with their dogs is, on one hand, a lot of people would say that what they are doing is so disgusting. Who runs around the city chasing after rats, rummaging through garbage and filth in search of rats? Taking their dogs along to actually kill these rats and get these rats in their mouths and in their teeth and on their tongues and just mauling these rats. A lot of people would say, that is so disgusting. And I get that. But on the other hand, the thing that I like about this, it's kind of crazy, but I kind of like this because you can tell that this is a group of people that really enjoy what they're doing. And if people can get together and do something that they really enjoy, these guys are really having fun. The dogs are enjoying what they're doing. The guys are having fun doing, and they're just having the time of their lives, and that part of it is appealing. And if you can get people to get together to do anything that they enjoy, whether it's playing chess or playing cards or playing some kind of a sport, I guess this is their sport. They're enjoying themselves and they're having the time of their lives, and they're helping out the communities that they're doing this rat hunting in. So I like that part of it.
As the Norway rat, but probably more accurately referred to as the brown rat.
These brown rats made their New York City debut in the mid-1700s. As ships would set sail for the colonies, rats would stow away on board and find a home in the New World.
What has made them so successful in New York City is that there's always been a dense population of people that have provided food and water for them. And given those essential needs for survival, they have done very well.
Rats are nothing short of adaptable. They can survive on just 1 ounce of food and water each day. They also reproduce quickly, with the average gestation period lasting from 21 to 23 days. A female rat births around 8 pups in a single litter. These newborns will then begin to reproduce with other rats in just 5 weeks. Since they arrived centuries ago, rats have evolved into 2 distinct groups. And like human New Yorkers, they can be classified by their neighborhoods: uptown and downtown rats. A 2017 study from Fordham University found that both groups differ genetically and are separated by a geographic barrier: Midtown. But Midtown Manhattan is not rat-free, not even close. The area is more of a commercial district.
I will say that I never knew that the rats in New York City were different genetically, whether it's in the north part of the city or the south part of the city. This is very fascinating to me, but it does make sense that these two genetically different rats are separated because, as they just said, New York City, Manhattan, does have a rat issue as well, but it's not as heavy as in the suburbs or in the outer boroughs, where the rats have more parks and more soil and more garden. Manhattan is more of a concrete jungle, but the rats still find many places in Manhattan, in the subways and underground and in the sewer systems. They don't always need to have a soil in a garden and outdoor space. They do just as well underground.
There is less household trash and backyard space for rats to thrive off of than in uptown or downtown Manhattan.
You know, they have some really fantastic abilities that allow them to navigate human environments very successfully.
Being that rats and mice also carry a ton of pathogens, it is a matter of public health. They carry things like toxoplasmosis, salmonella, the bubonic plague, and we don't want any of that.
It's usually the exterminator that gets the first call when a rat is spotted.
I am an exterminator, and I'm an owner-operator of my own company. I do extermination of rodents, insects, and wildlife trapping. As an exterminator, a typical day is getting up super early so I can see the action. I have keys for almost all of my restaurants. No one is around, it's quiet. I sneak in, I keep the lights off, I grab my flashlight, I flash it around the location, and I look to see what's scattering. So there's an entire ecosystem in the wall voice of New York City buildings at all times that would probably make a lot of people want to vomit and jump out of their skin. As you can see, somebody tries.
A couple of things I want to say about the images that we just saw. About the young lady. The one thing that I really like about her is that she is a young lady who is in the pest control industry. That is extremely rare. There's not a lot of men, there's not a lot of men who really want to be in the pest control industry and deal with all kind of creepy crawly things. So to find women who are brave enough to do it and have the stomach to do it is refreshing to me. It's rare, and the few women that I have found who did it, they were pretty good. They were pretty good, and they were really serious about what they were doing. So, yeah. And the other thing about that I wanted to mention is that guy that was chasing the rat with a mop. What are you gonna do to a rat with a mop? If you hit it, the mop head is soft. You're just gonna slap the rat with a mop. You need something hard like a shovel that can actually smash its guts out. Not a stupid mop. What an idiot.
To close the rodent hole with spray foam. And generally a rodent can gnaw through weak concrete, mortar, wood very easily, and plastic. So something like this does not keep them out. The entry point for this building in particular is right here. You can see that there's a hole in the building. If I stick my hand up, it just goes all the way up. So there is a gap where there's a lack of insulation. Definitely no solid insulation. And if you look at these brown marks right here, where the concrete goes from gray to this dark color, that's actually from the rat's body. It's an oil they secrete called sebum. It leaves a scent trail, and it will invite other rats to actually follow them up in here. As we could see by the extreme amount of darkened color, there is quite an infestation, and we've got some droppings right here in the corner, and the scent of urine. If I was in charge of getting rid of all the rats, the very first thing I would do would be to get rodent-proof trash receptacles. If you eliminate the competing food source, the rats will be more likely to, 1, not breed as often, 2, not set up shop in places where people are. They're with us because of our garbage and our littering.
In the summer of 2017, the city launched a $32 million citywide initiative to reduce the rat population in 3 target areas by 70%.
One thing for sure is that New York City is the perfect place for rats. We provide everything for the rats. One very unique period in time for me as a pest control professional here in New York City was during the pandemic back in 2020 when the whole country shut down, when all of New York City shut down. It was very it was like an alternate strange universe. One unfortunate thing for the rats is that all of a sudden all of the restaurants were closed. All of the restaurants that every night put out tons of trash that was full of delicious food, they were all closed. And that major source of food all of a sudden was gone. At the same time, everyone was staying home and all of the subways were empty. The subways is another major source of food for the rats because, New York City subway riders are very sloppy eaters. They drop their bag of potato chips. They don't finish their donut. They throw it on the tracks or they throw it under the seat. They're dropping candy and pretzels and pizzas and sandwiches that they don't want to finish. We provide tons and tons of garbage in the subway systems that are food-based and that really sustain the rats. And all of a sudden, in 2020, all of that was gone. All of the restaurants were closed down, and so that food was gone. And all the subway riders were gone, and all that food was gone. And the rats were like, what the hell is happening to us? Where the hell are these people with our goddamn food? So the rats were it was strange. In some cases, the rats were the lack of food was really hurting the rats. In some cases, rats were cannibalizing each other. In some cases, desperate rats were trying to get into homes or places of where there were food storage, and they were desperate. and so when this young lady says that eliminating their food sources has a huge impact, it really does.
The city installed 336 Big Belly solar compactors with no accessible entryway for the rats. The city now requires increased trash pickups, and any person caught illegally dumping trash faces heavy fines. But some of these new and improved trash cans are not as effective as advertised.
There you see solar-powered, compacting, rat-proof can, whose purpose is totally defeated by being left open, by all the stuff around the edges. So you might just as well have a regular old container. They don't work because they don't lock them. So the rats go in down below.
So city exterminators look to other methods.
There is a rodent bait station, and this is being used by the Department of Health to manage a known population. And so inside would be most likely either a rodenticide that is a bait that the rodent would feed on and then within a week or so succumbs to the active ingredient. Or in some cases what they do is they have a non-toxic bait, so it doesn't have the active ingredient, and then they'll put snap traps in there. So the rodent will come, they'll get used to the bait, and then they'll deploy a trap and that will catch the rodent that comes in.
But still, rats persist. And some New Yorkers have taken it upon themselves to manage the problem.
Camera with me. Give me a camera. I need Right there. You guys ready? Here we go. Here we go. Party. Oh, there we go.
Back to these guys with their dogs.
Each day, New York's crowded streets are abundant with the sights, smell,
Sorry, guys, I lost my space. Let me get back there.
rats persist, and some New Yorkers have taken it upon themselves to manage the problem.
Camera with me. Give me a camera. I need a camera over here. Over here. Right there. You guys ready? Here we go. Here we go. Party. Oh, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Are you not?
We started about
Now, again, I was trying to say these guys with their dogs, the one guy throws his dogs into the trash can to chase the rats out, and the other dogs wait to ambush it. These guys are really just having the time of their life. And it's disgusting in some ways, but at the same time, it's kind of fun to see how much fun they're having.
30 years ago over in New Jersey at Liberty State Park, and we had a dog show there that was fairly overrun with rats, and some of our dogs decided on their own to handle the problem. And the park superintendent saw that and said, hey, can you guys come back and make it a regular thing? And Rats was born. Any dog will catch a rat, any dog will kill a rat. The terriers do it faster and better than the other breeds, and they endure. They have the tenacity to hang in there. 100 rats a night are not enough for them. They still want more.
One thing I do know is that a lot of small breeds of dogs were bred to hunt small game like rats and moles and rabbits. But and I have been a dog owner at different points in my life. And one thing I don't know how you guys would feel about that. Maybe you guys can leave a comment about it, but I wouldn't want my dog interacting with rats that way. Shit, that's disgusting. And I wonder if these guys ever have to take their dogs for checkups. These dogs have the rats in their mouth, and they're chewing these and mauling these rats to death, and they're getting rat DNA in their goddamn mouth, blood and all kind of shit in their goddamn mouth. Do these dogs ever have to get checked up, or do they get sick? It's crazy, disgusting.
We're not really having an effect on the rat population in New York. We do it for the dogs first, for the enrichment, for the fulfillment of the dog's DNA. We're helping the community out secondary to it, which is good. But you're never going to control a rat population in New York City. It's a never-ending thing.
From traps to improving sanitation to hunting dogs, people are always coming up with ways to wage war on the city's rats. Exterminators, researchers, and city officials alike urge New Yorkers to be vigilant in doing their part.
The only thing that's ever going to reduce rats to a manageable level is to clean up. If you remove the food supply, the rats go away. Plain and simple.
It's important that we consider we want to manage the problem, But the problem didn't start in one day. The problem started over time as rodents were attracted to an area for food, and so now we have to take that time to manage the population effectively. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to eliminate the problem from a site.
Well, that's it for that video. I want to thank you for watching this video to the end. I hope that you will like. I hope that you will subscribe, maybe leave a comment. It was nice to have you, and I hope that you will explore my channel and look at other videos that I have to share with you. Thank you very, very, very much. Take care.